Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IT Festivus. I'm Jonathan Crow. I'm Director of Content and Community at Ninja One. Oh man, so happy to see everyone here on our stage, our speakers. Thank you so much for taking time during this busy holiday season to celebrate the most special holiday of all, Festivus. The holiday, the Festivus for the IT admins of us. And everyone in the comments, thank you so much for coming in. Great to see familiar faces. Neil, you just shared your amazing holiday sweater, which I saw you submit earlier. Incredible. We got tons of great submissions, not just from the sweaters. There's only a few brave people, including Neil. And then we got a ton of great IT grievances, some great admin feats of strength. I love Ray. I love your office photo there. I know there's some people here on the panel who have been doing some office decorating as well. So speaking of our panel, let me go around and introduce who we're going to be speaking with and spending this IT Festivus with. First of all, look at you, Ray. With this hat, you're going to have to tell me a little bit more about it. But we've got Santa Ray himself. We got Ray Orsini, CEO of OIT VoIP, champion of the MSP community. Thank you so much for being here, Ray. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. It's awesome to be on here. I love doing these, and I'm excited to do this fun stuff with good friends. So thanks for having me on.
I love that shirt too, by the way.
This is fine.
I figured it was appropriate for, Festivus.
For anyone in the chat who likes that shirt, you're going to have a chance to win some money to spend in the swag store, the OIT swag store, so you could get one of your own. So thank you for that, Ray. And Marnie Stockman, CEO of Lifecycle Insights, looking quite festive, Marnie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here with you all.
Absolutely. And then, oh my gosh, we got Mr. Dave Coles. He's VP of Tech Services at Castle Rock Sky and looking very,
like the cat.
very festive. What's the cat's name, Dave?
We started an OnlyFans, so whenever the lights come on, the cat whips the butthole out.
Hey, I think that's Festivus on brand. I think if anyone has grievances, it's cats. I think that's
all the time.
Yeah. Dave, thank you for being here. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Chrislyn, who's otherwise known as Sys Engineer from Twitter, from Discord. Chrislyn, I'm so excited to have you here. And from TikTok. How can I not leave with that?
Yes,
anyway, Chrislyn, so glad to see you here. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dig up, while we're switching over to another segment here, I'll dig up the photo you were sharing of your office.
The Christmas tree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was impressive. Was that part of a contest? Were there like different departments competing with one another?
Yeah, so we were supposed to have like 7 departments doing it, but only 2 or 3 did because everyone saw our tree and they were like, yeah, we're not even going to try this year.
Wow.
I was like, well, that takes the fun out of it, but okay.
Wow. So you, people didn't even want to compete anymore because of what you had up there.
Yep. Well, we did have a website as well that went with it, that you could scan with a barcode and everything. So
that's kind of overkill. I can imagine like sales or HR being like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, guys. That's awesome. Well, yeah, I'm going to share a link, drop a link to the Discord group really quickly to check it out. And speaking of Discords, I mean, man, we've got our own group here. We've got MSP Geek. We've got MSPs R Us. There's lots of great Discord groups. Win admins. We're going to drop links to all of those because this is season 2 together. I'm very happy to have everyone here in our community, but there's other great communities as well out there. And so as kind of like a stocking stuffer, we're going to share some links for that. Oh man, Jeremy, thank you so much. So yeah, I love that everyone's active in the chat. Please feel free to keep sharing away. Because the big thing we're going to do here, as is our tradition in Festivus, we are going to do a few things. We're going to air our grievances, and that's what we're going to start with. We're going to go ahead and get negative right out of the gate. I know Dave's ready to roll, and we're going to go around our speaking panel to do that, and then we're going to call up the submissions that you guys made, and we've got 9 finalists. We want to have 10. So if you were a little delayed, like I am with my Christmas shopping, if you were a little delayed, you didn't get your submission in time, you still have a chance to win our prize. and our prize is a Lego Seinfeld set. That's grand prize. You also get swag and from OIT and from Lifecycle. And so if you share your grievance now, panel here, I'm and also people in the chat, I'm hoping that you can help us pick our 10th finalist. So before we get into that and let people do some thinking there and adding things in the chat, why don't we go around and share if you have any grievances that you want to air with everyone to get off your chest. I'm going to go, maybe this might be a little unexpected. I'm going to start with you, Marty.
Okay, well, that is a little unexpected. So I have to say, I don't have a ton of grievances, but I thought I got a funny one from one of my partners. So this is a grievance he thought he had with me. So I get a Friday morning email. Hey, Marnie, I love your newsletter, but I get it twice in my inbox. So I think your mail system emails me twice every Friday. And so I went in my mail system and I said, in fact, it doesn't, but we'll just say his name was Brian. But Brian, and then Brian plus, I kid you not, Jurassic Sock has signed up, right? So the email. So I said, I just eliminated the Brian plus a Jurassic Sock email. You're only going to get it next Friday. Next Friday, send out my Friday email. A minute later, I get Brian hot in the inbox. Morning, I thought you said you took care of this, which I had taken care of this. And I really this is a thing for me. I try really hard not to have not to do that to people. So I go back into my marketing system and I pull up Brian again. And now I've got Brian, and then I've got Brian plus the webinar I did that week. I said, Brian, you just signed up for my mailing list again with the second email. So so every week Brian is just inviting himself to a new lifecycle something with a different email. So he was complaining that I was spamming him, and then he realized he was spamming himself and getting his, sometimes 4 emails from me. So there you go.
Oh man,
he now knows if he signs up for a webinar with me, just to give me I already know your email. I know who you are.
Trying to be clever with the other email accounts and everything and the forwarding. I mean, I've run into this too. People don't want to be getting those multiple emails. I get these from a couple other vendors too, Marnie. So maybe I'm doing something wrong as well.
That was one of your and I first interactions, Jonathan. It was me asking on Discord, can you take me off this list? And you're like, yeah, no problem, I got you. And then I realized all the cool stuff Ninja's doing. I'm like, maybe I'll sign up again.
Can you put me back on your list?
Oh man, yeah, and then the best is when we get complaints why didn't I get this thing? Why didn't I get the invite for it? Well, we unsubscribed you. But yeah, no, it's fair. Lots of emails going out there. Ray, how about you, sir? What's your grievance? Something from the past year or something going on now?
So I am my own grievance. I realize I'm most of the time. So, I'm a tech guy through and through. So, I should be able to do cool stuff with LEDs and soldering. And that's what I've been doing. I figured, let me get back into soldering. It's a fun little hobby. And I realized exactly how bad I am at it and why I gave it up the first time. So I've gone through 3 little controller boards that I have completely burned through. I am not muted. Stop messing with me. So, Drew. Whatchamacallit? So I've gone through 3 controller boards where I've completely destroyed them. It's like back when I was a kid learning computers and building systems. So yeah, hopefully I can report next year as my feat of strength that I got it all solved. But for now,
I know some people, Ray, if you need help with that soldering.
I appreciate that. I know you know everybody. I appreciate that, Marty.
I like it, Ray. So let's see. We'll keep score here and see if you come up again, Ray. So you're your own grievance. Dave, what do you got for us?
There's so many, but I think
this is only an hour long. It's only down to 45 minutes.
I think no. I wrote down. I'm not very active on Twitter, but I am a serial lurker. Like all of my news and information and everything, I'm just an ingester. And it's been very difficult for me to watch. I feel like I'm watching Elon reach into Twitter, and it's like pulling the things out of the HAL 9000. Parts of Twitter are slowly dying in front of us. And it's so hopefully it all turns around and everything is okay, because I can't Mastodon. I'm not smart enough.
Not smart enough. It's not. I mean, it's a little funky, picking the server and everything. But other than that, I mean,
okay.
You got this.
I'm really fucking lazy. Is really. I got a system and it works, and I don't want to
feel
mess
bad.
it up.
I joined a Mastodon and I've never logged in again.
There we go.
Oh man, yeah, dumb or lazy. That's like the
So
internal
my
question,
grievance is I've come to realize that Elon is our generation's Howard Hughes, and I just have to live with it.
Man, it is wild. Well, we are actually. I guess I'm kind of not quite up to date with this, but he's been asking if he should step down, and people are throwing out like alternatives. And
well, sysengineer I think is in the top 3 for selection.
Yeah,
I saw.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which I'm all about. I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're very lucky during this Festivus get together that we have the future CEO of Twitter with us.
Yeah, it's between me and Snoop Dogg right now, so there is some competition. So
That'll be tight.
Yeah, right. He has a few million votes. I have 1,000. So
I mean, how close are you with Martha Stewart? That's the
I was going to say I want Martha in as CFO, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Oh man, so 1,000 versus a million or so, but yeah, there's still time. Was there a cutoff? We need to span the votes here. Well, yeah. What's your grievance from this year? I mean, you obviously, I can tell from your Twitter account, you're dealing with active issues from time to time. What's your big grievance from the past year?
Well, I just started. I've been with the government for 4 years, but I just switched to a new department, and when I first, everything over there is way out of date compared to my last job. And I guess I don't really have too many, but when I did my first help desk ticket over there a few months ago, it took me like 25 minutes to figure out how to use that system because it's terrible. So yeah, and then also probably my communication skills with elected officials and stuff could probably be improved. A lot of miscommunication. So, because they only hear what they want you to hear.
You're not telling them yes all the time?
Yes, in a way. It ends up being like a yes in their eyes, but it's actually a no. You just have to play the game.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. Well, you're picking up on a theme here that a lot of people have shared, and so I'm gonna bring up my screen here and show you what. Thank you all of you for sharing those grievances. I hope you feel better sharing those. I'm also going to share my screen here and share what the rest of our audience here, a lot of the folks in our community have shared with us because, man, yeah, they had some grievances too. So let me bring that up. And, let's see here. I think I'm going to have to do one kickoff here. So, Ray, I'm going to bring you right back, sir.
Sure.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so as a reminder, this is what we're playing for. We said, hey, share your biggest IT grievance with us. And we've got a first prize of a Seinfeld Lego set. Second prize, you're gonna get a gift card from OIT for their swag shop, which they have awesome shirts, not just the cloudy "This is fine" one. They've got a lot of good stuff there. And then we've also got the bundle with from Lifecycle Insights, which includes a hat, a backpack, and what's not pictured is Marnie, your book, right?
Yes, yeah, tucked inside the backpack.
Nice, very nice. Okay, so this is what you're playing for. And now let's go through the finalists. So again, we've got 9. And then I just saw, thank you everybody in the chat for submitting your own grievances. I did take a couple of screenshots. So panel, we can decide who we want to add as number 10. But this is the first one. And this is actually, this came up a couple times in a couple of variations, a couple of flavors. Ticket coming in, no internet when there's a power outage. Dave, I mean, Is this kind of ringing bells for you? This sort of ticket?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a version of this where they've actually got them on the phone and they're down in the server room talking them through how to turn something back on. They're like, well, it won't turn on because there's no power.
Yep. We got another one too. There was another comment submission was saying that there had been just a big lightning strike, and then people were wondering why the internet wasn't working too. I think it's just like because the internet's magic, right? Like people have kind of forgotten that no, it's actually it's not. So yeah, Brett Carlson, thank you so much for sharing that one. Okay, here's another one. Passwords. This came up a lot in a few different flavors. And also this isn't just about passwords, right? This is like training, and you put all this time and effort into it, and then nothing happens. I mean, the other thing is security awareness training. I see this come up a lot too, right? Like you go into all the training for suspicious links and everything, and then as soon as the mock phishing test is over, then you get popped because a user did basically the exact same thing. I see people complain about this stuff all the time.
I have to make a comment on that. My daughter just started a full-time job, just graduated. I'm on the phone with her. She's like, "This is weird, Mom. The head honcho, who I've never met, just sent me an email saying he's in a close." And Ray, who I know is listening from the green room, the exact same email that Ray sends his team as your first phishing attack, asked her to do the same thing. She's like, I don't think this is a thing, Mom. I said, "You're absolutely right. I happen to know it's quoted from the same thing that Ray does." So she sent a screenshot of it to her boss and said, "I do believe I've got a phishing attack." They haven't even trained her on phishing yet. And she was like, "I do believe this is not for real." They were like, "All right, well played, newbie."
Ray, I swapped you out with Dave so you could comment on that.
Oh yeah.
They absolutely told her to go buy gift cards.
I mean, that's what you got to do. That should have been my grievance. I authorized secure phishing training, and then I fell for our own phishing campaign on the third try. I was sitting at a conference, and it was an Amazon link. That's the way to get me. I clicked it, and I was like, oh. Yeah. But we got Kelvin, though. That was our feat of strength. We got Kelvin.
The Amazon link for a new tech toy. Yeah, that's the way to get Ray. All right, here we go. Here's another one. The patching, right? And basically exceptions. This was kind of a running theme too of like, no, I'm not going to make an exception for you, or like, no, I'm not going to do what the previous person did, which was coddle you, and I'm not going to do it.
Manually at 2 a.m. 2 o'clock should only show up once a day, so you should not be required to do that manually at 2 a.m. I'm with Steven on that one. That sounds like not okay.
Yeah, Chrislyn, I mean, you're handling patching with the government stuff. I mean, are you getting like, do you hear this at all? Like any people asking for exceptions for your stuff?
Not really, because we kind of do. We don't have a schedule. We just do it whenever, and so no, not really.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
Yep.
Oh, this is a great one. And whoops. I gotta go back. There we go. I teased the one that everyone is like, oh man. All right, let's go with this one first, and then we'll come back because I really like the discussion for the other one. Okay, yeah, this is one where like, oh man, hider, you're like playing to the crowd. This is like the crowd pleaser answer, right? Printers.
So I've done a non-scientific survey on this. I play Mad Libs when I do presentations, and I ask people to name a complicated medical term, a car part, their favorite tech gadget, and then their least favorite trouble ticket type. And over 50%. Now, I do presentations all the time, so this is in rooms of 50 MSPs at a time. And 50% of the responses I get when I ask for this answer is printers, just so you know. Password resets the next one, but in general, I hear printers more than half the time.
Dave, what do you think about that? Is that, I mean...
What are we printing? Who's printing?
Somebody at my work printed a screenshot of Anne Hathaway's face. And I walked in there and I was like, what is this? And someone was like, oh, they're just getting a new haircut. They're going to take that with them. So
couldn't show them on your phone.
Exactly. The phone wasn't okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you want to be able to look at your phone.
I get it. Sometimes I have to print something off if I need to fax it. But that's really the only reason.
Which is also why do we have to print that off the fax?
Well, my favorite there is Marnie, I can't fax from where I am. And you say, where are you? 2022, Marnie. I'm in 2022.
Yeah. Let's be clear. I'm pretty sure my phone will scan that in for you and take care of it.
Exactly.
I've done it literally from my porch because my porch gets good sunlight to scan in a program.
Well, as long as it's HIPAA compliant.
We
Man,
use faxing way too much at my work, so I hate troubleshooting it as well.
It's unbelievable. I heard a podcast going into why it seems like we've made such remarkable advances in every phase of technology except for printers. It basically just been the same thing for 20 years. And the answer that they got was some expert saying, "Oh, actually, it's really complicated." And it's just like, come on, that's not satisfying. Which I'm sure that it is. Okay, let's go back to this one. So this is from Richard. Richard Fignon, thank you for submitting this. My biggest IT grievance in the past year is the amount of time and resources we have to apply to cybersecurity to prevent an attack. There's so many other improvement projects I'd like to focus on. And this stuck out to me because this also, it really reminded me of a comment I saw on the Tech Tribe, which is another great community, where someone is basically making the same kind of comment of like, he's actually kind of falling out of love with his job for how much he's having to focus on security. And I mean, a lot of us get into it, right? There's a lot to really get into security. It's very cool. There's the hackers and the hoodies and all this stuff and tinkering around. But he was just like, man, I just want to get back to helping people. And I feel like this is taking all my time. And that kind of sucks for me personally.
And this kind of speaks to the treading water of, right? Like just trying to keep it at a baseline of security. And I'm having to do new things to keep just at a baseline of security.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't help too. I mean, like this is where maybe it's calmed down a little bit. I mean, there's just so many, there's new vendors all the time. There's new products, you know, everything's pushed hard. There's tons of FUD. Like this is the one thing that leadership really will care about and kind of send down, kick down the hill, you know? So I totally get it. I don't know. This kind of resonated with me, but I don't know, Kristen and Dave, how about you guys? Does this kind of hit home for you at all or not so much?
Yes and no. So at my new job, I'm doing a lot more programming, but my coworkers have said this, who are maintaining the servers more than I am anymore.
One of the things I have to remind myself is, especially with your smaller customers, how hopeless it would be without folks like us. And
Yes.
that brings a little bit of meaning back in. Like I just can't even imagine surviving as a business in the world today without a competent somebody helping you in the security world, which is every aspect these days. You know, it's all security all the time, especially printers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is something that in some of the feats of strength that were submitted that we'll get to later, like people saying, man, I went into a new one person said they got a new healthcare client who didn't have anything. I mean, they were just very ground level in terms of having nothing in place to protect themselves. And so I think you're right. I mean, helping SMBs who are otherwise just completely hopeless. I think you're right. There's
It's noble.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's keep going. Oh, Ray, I saw phone systems and I thought of you, as I always do.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, this is Autumn. She's basically just complaining about how they had to migrate to a new phone system and how it broke everything else because everything's connected. And then okay, yeah, they got through it and it's good now. But I imagine you might have something to say about this.
Yeah, I've been through this couple thousand times, and I feel your pain. And Randall talking about faxing over VoIP, I feel your pain, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's part of life. I will take phones are a little easier than fax, which are a little easier than printers, and I think that's like the hierarchy of life. I'll go with that.
Oh man, I really thank you for that, Ray. And Ryan, I just want to call you out in your comment there about cyber insurance. Going back to the security comment, I mean, man, a whole nother wrinkle. It's not just that execs are getting scared; they're also having to go through cyber insurance requirements and compliance and all that stuff. Okay, Jeremy, talking about basically something bringing down an entire data center. And there's a few of these things too of like mega oopsies, which I love. They're not good in the time, I'm sure, but man, they're pretty good stories. So I wanted to share this one. And then got a couple more here, and then we'll get to our bonus one. I like this one. So this is Randy. This is also kind of like a not just technical one, right? This is one where the biggest grievance is like, man, we're trying to help people. Like this, we're not just in this job to, there's the stereotype of the IT person as purely technical, don't like people. Maybe that's you, I don't know. But there's a lot of us out there that want to help people, right? I mean, this is like kind of what Dave, to your point, helping the SMBs, like it's noble. There's something about making people's work better. You know how to do it, and then you get pushback.
Sometimes
whether that's budget, whether it's whatever.
Sometimes
You're trying
I
to
have
help
to
people.
remind myself,
they won't let you.
It's like doctors, right? You need to do these things or you'll die. Don't have to do them.
Like, yeah, I mean, and also I had to censor this because Randy had included the emails, or he was tagging someone, and I couldn't tell whether he was tagging them to like get them to chime in, or whether he was saying that like this is the person who won't let me help them. So I edited that one. All right, so I think if I'm correct, that might be Drew.
Oh, no.
Oh boy. I think as a ninja in play, I need to recuse myself from this discussion. But the no, I mean this is a big one. Like M&A in the IT industry. Oh boy, I mean it's obviously something impacting a lot of companies, a lot of folks, and as a community person, I mean I just see this as more of like the community is best when there's lots of different people and players who are able to work together and contribute, and consolidation kind of sucks. So
it's like you ever take a road trip and you're on the turnpike and you see all the rest stops and you're like, okay, I don't want to eat at this one, I'll wait till the next rest stop to go somewhere else. And the problem with M&A is they're eliminating those options. So when you want to run away from one to go to the other, if they're all owned by the same entity, that's a problem. And that's I can see how that's frustrating for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, the other parts, the lack of partner engagement. I mean, that's the other thing too. Competition, and if you don't feel like incentivized to really be responsive, that's a negative. Having good players, like having good companies that you feel like, oh man, they're doing great, and we want to be as good as they are, or better. Like that's just a good thing, right? And then of course security. I mean, that's been the big issue. I mean, man, knock on wood, like. I've seen the tweets and everything, people saying, oh, it's the holidays, it's December, what's going to be the surprise? We had, what was it, Log4j last year, SolarWinds the year before.
I mean, I don't know, on the engagement side, you're saying not every vendor does like an IT Festivus or Jurassic Sock or Rogue One or all these, MSP live chats. Are you saying not every vendor does that? That's crazy. I don't believe
it'd be cool. It'd be cool. People do some good stuff too. We have a lot of fun, and we do it thanks to other partners like yourself, right? And like Marnie, and like everybody here.
No, but I get the security thing though. It's like it puts the MSP in a bad spot, right? Like if your vendors aren't being secure, then that trickles down to you, trickles down to the clients, and you may inadvertently be putting them at risk. It's a major thing.
All right, we have one more to go here. This is in panel. I'm going to give you a couple of choices. So I was looking in the comments, and I did a couple of screenshots. Oh man, you get to see my gross desktop with like all these icons. I was joking around about it, and now you can see that I wasn't really joking. Here, I'll stop sharing for a second while I pull this up. But yeah, let's get one more in here, and then we can do our poll, make our poll live, and you guys can vote, and we'll have a winner. And we'll keep the voting open throughout the whole show here. We're about halfway through. We've gotten through our negative part. We're going to get back to being positive in just a second. Okay, let's see here. Where is my screenshot? Well, while I'm doing that, I'm fiddling around with that. Let me go ahead and share our ugly sweaters. Kevin, you need food. You should go get food. Oh man, if we could somehow virtually figure out how to feed everyone here to send around some snacks, that would be great. Matt Fox, our friend at Valiant, is always pushing for snacks.
While you had ugly sweaters, I'll see if I can throw the Christmas tree my sister did for the Festival of Trees in the chat.
Ooh, that's cool.
Droid to the world.
Oh man, That's pretty good. That's
I
solid.
might build mine now. That might be enough to build mine.
All right, let me show you guys these sweaters. Okay, so the winner of the sweater is going to get a Ninja One backpack and tumbler. And here we go.
I saw that one in the chat, I have to say.
Oh man, Devontae. That's amazing. Well, I wish there was another angle. And Devontae, if you're there, if you're listening, and you can take another picture. I want to know, like, because it looks like a snow globe.
I know. Does that snow shake in there? That's what I want to know.
That is glorious. I love that.
That is, yeah.
And like, how far does it go out? You know?
Did you make that?
Is the elevator door like closing, like on it?
I promised myself I wouldn't make a Monica Lewinsky reference today. So I'm not gonna. Daily? I won't do it.
Is that like the 2022 New Year's resolution, and on January 1st we can hit you up for one?
Oh man, I like Devontae's a lot. Okay, best looking sweater number 2. We've got Hyder coming at you with the Grinch hat, the jingle all the way to hell.
I love that it's also the perfect color for chroma keying. So like if you wanted to do a green screen thing with the sweater, you could absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and open up this poll because we don't have the other one. So everyone on the line here, help us pick a winner. If you go over to the polls, wait, this side. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, you should see an option for polls. Let's see if I can bring this on the screen. Anyway, well, I'll share the screen, our results a little bit later, but that should be open and you can cast your votes. Okay. So, you need to know what you're voting for. You're voting for that one, for the snow globe. You're also, oh man, we saw Neil sharing his sweater. This makes me jealous. See, Ray, this is what competition's good for.
It levels everyone up.
Log Dio. Nice. Good job, guys. I begrudgingly tip my hat to you, and I'm coming for you next year. That's amazing. That's a good piece of swag right there. All right, and then this one, Jeremy. Technically, he just put his head on here, but we only had 3 entrants otherwise, so we're gonna give it to him. So he's got the Incredibles sweater. He says, I don't have one, but if he did, this is what it would look like. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so to recap really quickly, as we're voting here, we got the snow globe. If you look at the poll, everybody, if you check out those results, snow globe, Devontae, you're pretty well in the lead here, my friend. With 63% of the vote right
sweater.
now. It's a good one. And then we've got our Grinch, our jingle all the way to hell, which I mean, it's amazing. Logs.
I mean, that sounds like a Bruce Willis movie right there.
Yeah, totally. And then our incredible sweater. So that those are our options there. Please cast your votes, and we will award our winner at the end of the show. Okay. Now we're gonna take a little break before we get to the grievances. The feats of strength. And while I finish making that last grievance vote, and we're gonna bring on our good friend Kelvin. And yes, Kelvin has been doing a lot of cooking recently. This is how Kelvin's actually taking. He's based in the Netherlands, and he's taking a full 2 weeks for the holidays. Anyone here on the panel, are you taking breaks or no? Just working straight through. Marnie,
the staff gets time off. I'm at the office by myself to get deliveries. So,
wow, Dave, any time off for you?
I figured out a way. I think we're going to work a client trip into a little bit of a vacation.
Okay, there you go.
We'll see. Yeah, it's usually pretty quiet between Christmas and New Year's.
See, I was wondering that because it seems like it's often the case, but I know that there's some people in certain industries.
If something goes bad, it goes really bad usually. But
okay,
well, it's quiet for MSPs. They all get their QBRs squared away, so we
do all that 2 a.m. patching.
There you go.
You can finally reboot the systems now.
That's right.
Kristen, how about yourself? Are you taking any time?
I am not. We are closed 2 days. for the holidays. We're closed Monday and Friday this weekend, and then the same for the New Year.
Oh
So
man.
we shut
Well,
down. It's the perks of being a government employee. Federal holidays off.
Oh man. Well, I will invite Kelvin to the stage who can rub it in. Kelvin is CTO of Lime Networks. They're based in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. He's also the creator of SIP, which is it's a multi-tenant M365 solution that's open source that you should check out. And so many other things. Author is Cyberjame, a script guru, friend, and all around good guy. So Kelvin, thank you so much for popping on. You are taking a break as you do every year, and this is an important thing for you. As I mentioned, you've been doing a lot of cooking, and so I invited you on here. We're going to do a cooking segment, but we weren't sure how the sous vide thing would work on the air, if you could get that into your office. So instead, you were going to be offering a recipe for how to not burn out next year.
Exactly. So everyone should do the same thing as I do and just drop all of your work for the last 2 weeks of the year and do nothing. Like, I specialize in doing nothing for the last 2 weeks of the year. The recipe is quite simple. You walk away from your office and you don't look back. It could be that you'll never return because you're just no longer in the mood to work, but that is the easiest solution. Now, I understand that everyone has that luxury, of course. So there's other things you could do. Drink. So that's the best thing to do during the holidays. Drink a lot. Drink so much that you can't remember the holidays. That's the best part of it. But no, that all of these are of course jokes, because during the holidays, like, there's so much extra stress around holiday burnout and all that kind of stuff. So take a moment to unwind. Really take a moment to take time for the people that you love. Fall passionately for a project, a person, something like that. Have fun together. Make sure that you are absolutely and entirely not thinking about work for a couple of days. Like, my past week has been insane, and just try to make sure that happens to you too. I guess the recipe is lots of love, lots of alcohol, lots of laughter.
Oh man, I'm glad we started with the grievances so we could have that. And then you came in and you gave us this sweet thing to get that negative taste out of our mouths. Thank you, Kelvin.
Exactly.
It was like a nice aperitif, right? It was like a nice little sorbet to clean the palate. Like, love it, Kelvin.
I actually have a sign in my living room that's lots of love, lots of alcohol, lots of laughter.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and one thing, Jonathan, I'm pretty sure you just said Kevin, so I'm going to get you back for that.
I did not say Kevin.
You did.
No way I said Kevin.
Did. Oh, yes, you did.
I've been watching Home Alone. You did. I don't know.
Roll it back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look at this recording. We're gonna get down to the bottom of this. Kelvin, thank you so much for jumping in with that very important message, sharing your recipe there.
No problem. You guys
you're
have
the
a
best.
good
I enjoy the rest of your 2 weeks.
I will.
All right, we're gonna get Marnie back on the screen here. Thank you, Kelvin. Okay, so while Kelvin was saying that, I was fully present as well. Although not really. I was updating the grievance thing, and I've noticed that we only have a few minutes left, and 15 minutes left to do the feats of strength, which are really awesome. So let's get this taken care of really quickly here. Okay, so panel, here are the other options that were submitted. Audience, thank you so much for doing this. So Steven, we've got this will only take a minute. We got Brandon. It's people moving IT equipment without notifying IT, then complaining it breaks. And then Camille, similar kind of thing as this only take a minute. It's the okay, yeah, you need lead time, sure. And then the very next day for the next project, yes, I need this right now. Let's have kind of like a sudden death thing. Ray, what's your vote for?
We need it right now. I mean, that hurry up and wait thing is just, it hits too close to the bone. I've heard that so many times.
Kristen, what about you?
Yeah, the need it right now, because that's how everything operates at my work.
And Marnie?
Yeah, I'll go with it too. It's one of those lack of prior planning on their part, in fact, did make an emergency on your part.
And Dave, how about you?
I'll agree, even though that first one, we've actually had to ban, you got a minute, as a phrase in our organization because no, I don't have a man. But I do also very much agree with the now it's an emergency.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm going to add this to. I'm just going to say emergency for this option. Okay. And I'm going to save this and launch this poll. Okay. So now we officially have. What is the best IT grievance? And so those are options. Just to recap: complain, no internet, the password tickets, going through the password training, and then only to have people issue tickets about. Just obviously didn't listen to the training. Having to do the manual patches, the request for the manual patches at 2 a.m. The man, why do we guys spend all our time in security? Printers. Migrating to the new phone system, UPS guy shuts down the data center. Resistance to help M&A and vendor shins, and then the emergency thing. Okay, so I'm going to leave that poll up. Everyone, do what you're doing. That's awesome. Thank you so much for voting. Keep voting in the winner. We'll announce the winners at the end here. So let's move right over from the negative stuff into the feats of strength. So take this down here. Before we share everyone's responses, Ray, anything you want to brag about this year? What was the feat of strength for you?
I mean, I launched a new company, so that's a win, right? So yeah,
point.
we launched MSP Media Network to aggregate all the news sources and podcasts and all the cool events and stuff under one place for MSPs. So Ashley's dream of joining all the communities could be a reality.
Wow.
So that's a win.
Ashley likes it. Chrislyn, what about you? What's a feat of strength that happened this year? Something you're proud of?
I wrote a new program to replace Crystal reports, which took me quite a bit of time. It's still fully not done, but it's working. So it's for our tax department, so they can send out like property taxes and stuff. So
that's amazing. Nice work.
Thanks.
Dave, what about yourself?
I was covering and I got punted the only thing worse than printers are check scanners. And I was able to get a check scanner working again remotely without having to roll out, and I'm very proud of myself.
Oh man, amazing! This is you've hit on another theme too of like people are very proud of like making archaic, like outdated technology still work. Marnie, how about you?
So this isn't about me. This is one of our partners has intentionally fired 35 of his clients and has 3 times the amount of ARR as last year and 3 times as much profitability with firing 35 clients.
Wow. Dang. I mean, that's amazing. That's one of those things you hear all the time, right? That's the best practice. You should do it. There's the pumpkin plan and all that.
He pumpkin planned his way. Yeah.
Quality revenue over just raw numbers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that is incredible. Well, thank you all for sharing that. We've got our finalists that we're going to share. But first, I want to bring up Brittany here to the stage. Brittany Brown, who works here at Ninja. And Brittany, hey, Brittany. Brittany is active. She is our green gal. She is our representative in the Spiceworks community. And so, Brittany, you asked the Spiceworks crew about this, and I'm going to pull that up on the screen, and maybe you can share a couple of the standouts or the favorites there. But yeah, I mean, any patterns that you notice, kind of the same similar thing here, where people seem to be proud of the same type of overcoming the same type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a lot of security wins. It seems like users are hopefully getting better at phishing tests. A lot of people actually said that all of their users passed them, which is definitely a big feat of strength, I think. Also getting, buy-in. So this is internal IT. So getting buy-in from executives for, investments in security or better infrastructure. Those are definitely some big wins that people have seen. So I would say the first one, obviously, I really like, just because it's got a great gift to go along with it. But like he said, all of his users passed the phishing tests, which is, absolutely incredible. If you go down about halfway, Mark Payton He mentioned that he was able to get software written for, and he was able to update a bunch of software, which I think is a huge feat of strength as well. It hasn't been updated since XP, which is absolutely wild. So that was really cool. And then I believe on the last page, there was one from Lord Voldemort. I forget exactly what it said, but I really liked the name. And, he was able to migrate. That's what it was. It was migrating data center infrastructure over to new platforms. So a lot of like infrastructure successes, a lot of security successes, and then getting buy-in is a huge success too. So a lot of really good responses, and it's good to see it's not all about grievances this year. There are definitely some really good feats of strength too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for sharing that. And we picked a couple of those to be finalists. Let's show them the others, though. So I'm going to bring Marnie back on the stage here, and let's go to Feats of Strength, and let's get this going. Okay. Oops, look at me. Okay. There we go.
And there they go. Go ahead and vote.
Yeah. Hurry up and vote. Okay. So who are we, what are we playing for here? So this is the big one, guys. We want to celebrate sharing our wins. I think this is a really cool thing to do. Obviously we're having fun with it, but like Kelvin was saying, do nothing if as much as possible for the new year, have a good reset. It's also good to look back and do a retro and think like, hey, we did some really good stuff that I can genuinely feel good about. Or my team did, or my coworkers did, and I can help them feel good about it too. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. And we want to reward that, right? And so we're giving away a PS5 with the new God of War, which I just downloaded and I want to play. Maybe that's what my doing nothing will be. Second prize, we're going to get more swag from Ray and the good folks at OIT. And then third prize, again, we're going to get another awesome bundle from Lifecycle for that. So, okay. First ones. Best admin feat of strength. We got some BitLocker. So there's a lot of people doing kind of like almost like speed run like brags, which I appreciated. So we got Steven here saying he BitLockered over 12,000 machines in a 24-hour period. And the best part about this, which I really liked, was there was no friction. It was silent, and so like management didn't even think he did anything. That's awesome. Appreciate that one. Here we go. We got Kelvin, and this is cool too. This was another theme. People who are working, Dave, kind of like Dave, like you were mentioning, working with SMBs. We got Kelvin here working with education. His story here is all about basically there is an issue where they were supposed to be getting free internet. They weren't. He was able to correct that, and he was able to help out education where budget was tight, get them free internet like the rest of the schools. We have other customers who work with nonprofits who are really proud of their contributions there. It's something that's really, really cool to see. Here we go. Mike bragging about the managed the Office 365 rollout, 30K under budget and on time, which is awesome. Until the next project where they're like, okay, you can do it for that much, huh? Right? Mitch, I mean, this is a great one. Getting 4 new help desk techs fully trained and all closing 100 plus service tickets a week, and then going through a big migration project, finishing early as well. I mean, the training techs, like Dave, how many folks do you have working for you? I mean, is this something as with your career, you transition to more of a leadership role? Is this something that you feel good about, being able to hire the next generation and train them and all that?
We don't want to fix printers all of our lives.
Oh, yeah. What about I'm gonna get Ray back on here because Ray, I mean, this is obviously a big thing for you, documentation and training and all that.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. I mean, talk about this is the best thing in the world. I mean, getting people to follow processes and close stuff. I mean, that's my happy place. Are you kidding me? Almost better than you calling him Kevin.
I swear I did not do that. I'm going back to the tape. All right. Oh, okay. I love this one from Nick. So basically, it's just him unplugging something, plugging it back in, and the CEO thinking that he did something more magical than that. I don't know if it fully qualifies for feat of strength, but I liked it.
I mean, for those that say the internet's not magic, IT people are absolutely magical. I mean, deploying BitLocker across 12,000 machines, fixing docs. I mean, that's magic. I don't care what anybody says. You guys are all magicians.
I'll second that. Okay, and so then, we got quite a few people saying that they helped their companies through, or their clients through breaches, right, and having to respond to that. So in this case, we got Justice saying how one of their customers was in retail, and they were able to go in, basically secure the network again and get them back up and running, processing credit cards within I think the next day. So amazing. What a great, hats off to you, Justice. That's an amazing feat of strength. Okay, this one too. Like this is the type of project way over my head, right? But 27 terabytes of data sounds pretty big. Like, so this is another kind of everything's a rush, right? Like having that something went wrong, there's now all of a sudden an emergency. It's interesting. So Ray, like Dave and Crystalline, like a lot of the IT work and a lot of things that people preach, or documentation, having things run smoothly takes a lot of work.
Yes.
And yet, what's that? Oh, and yet, whenever it's time to say like, oh wow, like we really accomplished something, there is this repeating like. Here, Chris, I'm just gonna update the stage there for a second. There's this focus on these like heroic jobs where it's like something went wrong, we had to like scramble, we had to get in the middle of the night and do this stuff. Obviously that's not what you want to happen, but it's what you feel proud of. Dave, have you had to do many of those? Like, have you been up in the middle of the night, like emergency response type of situation?
It's been a while. But absolutely.
Here we go. Here's one. Marnie, I get your thoughts on this one. So how about finally being able to set up MFA for remote access? It's harder to get buy-in. So
my line on that is MFA starts with MF for a reason.
I mean, I see this all the time, right? Like there's the technical implications, but a lot of times when people, like, the harder thing is dealing with people, right?
Always.
All right. Coming to the last ones here. So this is one where basically Vincent shares an amazing story. Sorry, our bubbles here are in the way. I can move those for a second. Let me see. Boom, there we go. All right. So Vincent shares this great story where a client gets a new service, decides to do things themselves, tries to install them, misses some hooks, the little hooks on the inner rails, and then gets a call the next morning and has to rush in some older servers to operate as stand-ins for it. Pretty incredible. All right. So the last one, before we open up our poll here. So people have been adding things in the chat. Panel, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the chat at all, if you have any here. We've got Lisa sharing her becoming co-owner of a second business. As she's going to be doing the managed services. That's awesome. So extending there, we had a lot of good people sharing their growth there in terms of picking up new clients and everything. Some automation. What do you think we should add here?
I like those three that you just said. I was looking at the automation with from Dan, adding the new vendor to their CRM, Adobe sign through Microsoft, etc.
I think that's great. And I think we should go. Let's go with Lisa, because there's another one too that was people have been saying this career-wise. It's not just about what we're doing for others; it's what we're doing for ourselves. So I think that's a great one. I'm going to add this one to the list, and I'm going to open up the poll. So let's see here. So this, who has our best admin feat of strength? Lisa becoming. All right. So audience, panelists, who had our best admin feat of strength? What do you guys think out of these?
Jealous of some of these.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these are amazing.
Absolutely. No, this is just a fraction of what we got. I mean, we got a ton of great submissions. It was really cool. Thank you everyone for doing that. Really hard to choose to narrow it down to these 10. Dave, if you had to vote, what are you going to vote on?
I think the BitLocker is the most impressive one to me. That's one to hang your hat on.
Here's a mini feat of strength. I'm going to do 2 webinars back to back, so I have to jump because I have one right now and I'm running it.
Marty, thank you so much.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. I don't know. I like that MFA for remote access buy-in. I mean, because the machines, if you mess it up, it's the machines or you, right? Like that you only have 2 people, but getting multiple people to buy into MFA, we've all had that, oh, it's so difficult and I got to push something on my phone and whatever. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that having the getting the buy-in, working with people, like I mentioned, I think that's a great one. I also like the plugging it.
We stopped selling it though. You don't have to buy it anymore. You just get it whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's.
But it is nice when they don't fight you.
No, fair point. I also like the guy who's he goes in, unplugs something, and plugs it back in. The projector is working again, and then he gets the credit for being an IT wizard. All right. Well, let's see where we're at while people finish up voting there. Let's go back to our ugly sweater poll. It was a runaway, but now I think Devontae with your snow globe sweater, you pulled it out, my friend. So you are the proud winner of some Ninja One swag. I mean, man, not as cool as that snow globe sweater, but you're gonna have some extra stuff to wear there. So congratulations to you. Let's see here. Let's go back to our grievances. Pretty close, but printers. I mean, was it ever any doubt? No. Printers. So let's see. So the winner there, I'm going to pull that up. Who is our winner that submitted printers? This is Hyder. Hyder, congratulations. You won a Lego Seinfeld Lego set. And now let's go for the big finale. Who's the best admin feat of strength? Dave, it's your horse. It's the BitLocker by a pretty wide margin here. By a pretty wide margin. So that, I believe, came from Steve Yarnut. So Steve, if you're here in the chat, congratulations. You won yourself a PS5 with the new God of War. Let's see who won the swag too. Who came in second here? Them plugging it back in. So you're going to be getting some awesome swag from the IT VoIP store. And then in third place, it looks like there's a tie there. So we'll work with Marty and we'll get you some swag from Life Cycles. And that's it. That is all of our polls. Let's see. So Marty had to run. Chrislyn, you're back on. Ray, Dave, thank you so much for taking time celebrating Festivus with us. Before we go, I have one more poll. And I want to get your thoughts on it. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I mean, that's yes, it has to be.
I'm always
See,
baffled.
I feel
we
that the
even
votes
talk
for
about
yes and the
this.
best movie.
Anytime we have this poll, we're giving credence to the no's, and they're just wrong. So we should just stop talking about it.
This is like both sidesism. Like we don't want
This
to.
is settled already.
Yeah.
It's like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Yeah, I mean, it's obviously
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it's a taco.
Oh man. Well, pretty definitive here, Dave. I think you're right. Those people, those 6 people who said nah, we can decide what to do with
It's
them
like
later.
having a poll to see if is the Earth flat. You're just giving people the option to think about whether it is or not.
But it's the classic song, "Deck the Halls of Nakatomi Tower." Fa la 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 la. Come on, guys.
Oh, can I let me share something with you here. Speaking of Ray, I saw this on a Twitter ad, and I was a sucker, and I was sure that it was a scam, but this is my advent calendar. So we're gonna go.
That's awesome.
That's pretty great.
There's a little Hans. He's down all the way to the 20th. He's gonna make it down to the bottom soon. And we also have a couple little Hans and Bruce Willis Lego guys, and we're gonna be giving away those too to some lucky attendees. So we'll send out a survey for how what you guys thought of this Festivus. I hope you enjoyed it. It'll be a chance to win some of those Die Hard minifigures. We've also got a survey, a series that we just launched today that we're going to do for the rest of the week called DIY Hardening. That's a Die Hard tie-in. But that's a wrap. I mean, final words. Festivus greetings. I guess we were going to do some predictions. Ray, did you want to share that before we head out here?
I'm going to predict that all your users across all of your clients are going to adopt MFA and never click a phishing email. I'm just putting it out there.
I love this prediction. Chrislyn, what about you? Any prediction?
My prediction is that once everyone gets back from Christmas break, they're going to forget their passwords and need resets. So make sure you have the IT staff on board that day.
Amazing. And then Dave.
Oh, I'm just looking forward to continuing our descent into a Philip K. Dick novel with all the AI generation that's happening right now.
You know, we had we started with the grievances. Kelvin came on, really changed the whole tone of this, and then you brought it back. So I'm glad that that we're ending here with a healthy dose of fear and reality. I think it's a good note to end on. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing your sweaters, your hopes, your dreams, your grievances, your feats of strength. This is really great. This is fun. Everyone's doing an amazing job out there. I hope folks do get a chance to take a little bit of a break, and we'll see you next year. In the meantime, happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus, everybody.
Happy Festivus.
Take care.
Bye.